Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I've decided to do another magazine video. I haven't done one for quite some time and I would like to fit in another one before the end of the year. The chosen magazine is called Project Calm. It's basically a magazine about mindfulness through making. So they're concentrating a lot on well-being, paper art, journaling, sustainability, craft books, mindfulness, and so on. I have only bought 2 issues so far, so it's relatively a new magazine to me, but I've been keeping my eye on it for, I would say, the past 7-8 months, and it really looks promising. So in Australia, we are paying $18.95. In the UK, it's retailing for £9.99, and I'm not sure of the price in the States or anywhere else in the world. So if you are familiar with this magazine and you have the correct pricing, feel free to just pop it down below in the comments. The magazine is printed in the UK as far as I can gather, and this is an older issue. It's issue 13, I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, this is issue 13. And this is the newest one that I could find, and it's issue 15. So I'm thinking of going through this magazine and concentrating on something that's a little bit newer. And then if we still have time and the videos are not too long, I might come back to this one and just show you a few sneak peeks of the highlights in it. Looking at the cover of this magazine, I absolutely love the colors. It's gorgeous, and the artist used 2 different prints on the dresses. Now, originally when I'm creating projects or doing something artistic, I would never think of putting 2 different prints together. In my mind, it's just not going to work. But looking at this, it's making me think differently. I really love them together, and it works for this cover. So you learn new things every day. Opening it up, we're getting to just like a little welcome note from the editor. And then we've got this beautiful print in here. I think it's so colorful and it gives me a bit of a vintage feel. Going on to the contents page, they have 4 sections in this magazine or in this issue. It's all about nature, mind and body, home and travel. The artistic articles or all the crafty things I find are mostly under mind and body and home, which I'll show you as we continue on. So they're just giving you a few sneak peeks of what to expect and on what page number you can find it. It's lovely and colorful images. And they're also on the side here telling you what little projects are in the issue, some extras that you can look forward to. Each section comes out with some pattern paper on the right side, and then on the left it's just telling you what the section's about, nature, and giving you some highlights of what you can expect. It's also got a quote, and you can see the page numbers are here on the side. It's color coded, so everything pink will be nature, and if you look there you can see there's purple, which will be the next section. This beautiful blue color, greeny color is the next section, which I think will be home. And then the last section is travel, which they've made a mustard color. So it's easy to spot the differences and see where a new section's starting. This printed paper I think can work so well for different things. In issue 13, I used a similar page like this and I turned it into a lace card. And this is what it turned out like. So I've just basically taken a piece of cardboard, so it's quite heavy, and I've just cut this out to size. I have used some glue and stuck it to the board, and I've just put it through my sewing machine. So I'll roll it down and show you what it looks like, the whole pattern paper. I actually love this paper, it's gorgeous. And what you can do to just lift it up a bit more is I was thinking of putting an eyelet in there at the top, and then you can always add a key ring and add a few more lace cards. You can also put thread or ribbon around here, and you can add some extra decorational pieces. So for example, something like that, and you can be maybe more specific and name the lace that you've got on here, or you can write it at the back. So I actually enjoyed making this, and I'm looking forward to making more. And you can do the same with this paper here in the front. You can definitely turn it into a lace card as well. Over here we just have some nature news. They've got some photos that are numbered and then a little description for each one. It's just things that are happening in certain areas that's got to do with nature, and that you can go and enjoy. This whole section is all about the sea. So the pink section's nature, and they've taken a theme. This whole theme is about water and the sea. So they're talking about salt water, how good it is for you, and how it cures things. So just some interesting articles. And then they're featuring 3 artists here that works with salt. So Alice basically turns sweat into crystals, which sounds very interesting. And then we have an Israeli artist that is actually creating sculptures by immersing objects in the Dead Sea. And then we've got another one here, Rose. She spent 8 years taking photographs of tears. We also have a little section here where you can take these little fold out pieces. So they've got waves, scales, and then also this part here. So you can take these little sections and you can turn it into something creative. So for example, the first stencil that I showed you, you can create a droplet frame. So all you have to do is use a scalpel or an X-Acto knife and cut out those little droplets, and then you can stencil it onto something and add your own quote in. For this wave paper, you can just again use a little X-Acto knife and cut out these little pieces, and they actually say you can enlarge the stencil on a photocopier, which I think is very nice of them. And for instance here, they've put it on a notebook and they have just put it down with masking tape and they've sprayed it. So you can make it larger or smaller if you prefer. And then with the scale template, they are also giving you a project here. You can make a mermaid vase. So again, just cutting out the little pieces, and again, they're talking about you can photocopy it and use it for a number of projects, which I think that's a nice thing for them to add. You just use masking tape, add it to your vase, add more paper around it where you don't want the spray to go, and then just spray it. So that's, I think, a very cool project that you can do. If you don't want to do this project, I was also thinking of, because this is perforated, so you can take it out and you can actually, in a large junk journal, use this as a page and work it in, and it can be a fold out page. So essentially this part's going to go in your journal as a page and it's going to fold out like that, and you've got loads of writing space. And I think that's maybe how I would use it. Sorry, I just paused the video because we had a plane going over. So getting back to this article, it's all about feel-good tears and just that crying can be good for you. But when I'm looking at this page and I'm seeing all these lovely color combinations, the peach with the blues and the whites, when I am sometimes in doubt and I don't know which color combinations to go for, this is where I get my inspiration from. Just paging through magazines and seeing something like that. This is not something necessarily that I would think to put together, or you would maybe forget that these colors go together, or you're just not completely sure, and you can just get an overview to see what it looks like, and it reminds me or teaches me that I actually like this combo and I can apply these colors in any creative project, whether I'm painting something, coloring in a picture, working on designing a journal, and I'm looking for different textiles and papers that are working together. That just gives me that extra little inspiration and makes a project come together. I love the texture that they've created here, and I think that was done with a sponge. This little bit is all about salt and how it can heal you. So they've got a little solution here that you can do for your home, and some salt water mouthwash. All about the sea and me. So they are talking to 3 surfers. They end off each section with a few ads, I would say. So this whole section, the nature section, was about water, as we saw. So they've got a few things that they found, products that have been inspired by teardrops, and they're just giving you the info of where you can find it. Oh, that's actually not the end of the section. It's continuing on here. I've just realized that we're still in the pink, but in each section they've got something similar to that. So I love these little hands that they've added here. This is all about overcoming eco-anxiety. I can see these hands being just cut out and used actually on the cover of my journal, because I love these patterns, and they've got cute pictures that you can use in between. And now we're going on to the next section, which is the purple parts, and this is all about mind and body. So again, a little quote and just an overview of what's to come. They've got this beautiful patterned paper. This whole mind and body section, they've chosen a theme, and it's all about sisters. So again, it's starting off relatively the same as the previous section. This is just some mind and body news, and it's continuing on to this page. And then the articles start, why sisters are like salad. I love this illustration here, and they've got another one over there. I can see that being nice in an art journal spread. And they're talking to some famous sisters. I think they are a band of some sort. And then we've got this little bit here. I love that. I can see this image here turned into a faux postage stamp, and I love the vintage feel of this side of the page. These little doodles here, I think, can give you loads of ideas to use in your journal spreads, and I love the black and the white theme of it. This would also look lovely cut out and used on an art journal spread, and doing some more doodles in here. Then we have this section again that's inspired by sisters, and they're just advertising a few products that you can get. A beautiful print that you can purchase. I love this page. I don't know what I would do with it quite yet, but it's something that I would definitely use. So they're interviewing this lady. She's a mindful coach and an illustrator. She helps others to discover their creative potential, and they're just showing some of her artwork. It's beautiful and colorful, and just asking her some questions. She also wrote this article, and I can see that these are her little illustrations. I think they would be perfect to decorate an envelope, a tag, or a journaling card with. They can be cut out. You can do some fussy cutting, and I think that would look really amazing. And even some more on this side. Then we have this little fold out piece here, and it's also perforated. So this is a little creativity kit. You can use this kit and turn it into a wallet. So they've given you this beautiful pattern paper. I wonder if that's what it looks like. It's stunning, and you can turn it into a wallet. These little bits here, you just added at the end of the enclosure, and then you also have some tabs. So this is what it's going to look like in the end. And you can see they've used a brad and these little circular images to just close up the envelope, and you're using some twine and just putting it through both brads and closing it up, or not the brads, that those little circular things that I'm talking about. And then you can basically use this wallet and cut out these prompt cards and add it in the wallet and answer it. So they've got some interesting little questions like, how do you consume social media? Do you feel addicted to your phone? How many times a day do you check your phone? What situations or people trigger you to check your phone more? When you're on social media platforms, are you mostly consuming or sharing content? And they've got a section for you to answer it, and then ending it off with, what project or idea can you work on when you catch yourself over consuming social media? And they've got a few of these cards that you can cut out, and after you've built your wallet, you can add it in there and answer it. If you don't want to use it, what it's intended for, you can also just make the wallet and store some ephemera or photos that you're printing out that you want to use in future journaling spreads or project life, scrapbooking. You can store that in there, or you can just make some journaling cards out of it. And they have a few of these little sections that you can cut out and answer. And they've also put some pattern paper at the back. I love these two designs with a little quote. I especially love this quote by Maya: you can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. Now, if you don't want to use these cards, again, what they were meant for, then you can definitely use the pattern paper. I was thinking of you can do some pocket tags. I have done some before, but not with pattern paper, with this piano roll paper. So you can cut a piece of it off and just make a pocket out of it, and you can add little pieces. It can be a photo, some illustrations that inspire you, a receipt, basically anything that you really would like to put in there. So I think that these little images will work well for that. And as you can see, loads of these little images and cards. And then this is your little book of mindfulness. This is basically a free download. I haven't done it yet, so I can't really comment on it. And just some more articles, and we go on to a new section. This is all about home, a little overview of what you can expect with a quote, some more pattern paper. Again, just giving you some home news. I love these little images on here. Then we have a few little cards that you can either put in frames and decorate your home with. So I think the home section is all about pink. Yes, so the theme for the home section is all about pink. So they perforated these cards. You can either use them, put them in frames and somewhere in your home, or you can use them in your journal. There's lovely extra space for journaling and adding photos. You can tip it in, or you can create a pocket out of this in your journal. It can be so if you just tear that out and you add some double-sided tape on these 3 sides and you stick it into your journal, you can slip something in there, or you can actually back 2 of these cards. So for example, those 2 can be backed together, and then just leave an opening on the end, and that will also turn into a floating pocket. So I think that's how I would use them. Then we're going on just looking at the home and living in pink. I don't have anything pink in my home actually, not that I can think of straight away. And I don't know if it is something that I would like to decorate a part of my home in pink. That's not for me, but I'm sure it can work. It's just not really my style. And then some things that they found inspired by pink that you can purchase for your home. They've got another little project here. So it's a gratitude box. You can make this mini box and you can add tokens inside for family, or use it as a prompt for daily tasks. So they've got a step-by-step instruction, and then this is my like a heavy card, so it will hold up nicely. I was also thinking, if you don't want to make something like that, you don't have to just throw this away. You can definitely turn it into something else. If you just take this piece over here and you cut it up, that can end up being a journaling card, because at the back it's blank, so you'll have space to write or add something. This can be cut out like that, and it can be turned into a photo frame, so you can insert a photo there. This little piece here, I think it's difficult to see, but if you just cut out this piece here, you can turn it into a tab or like a little tuck spot in your journal. And then these images can just be cut out and used as die cut pieces. So that's just an idea that if you are not really keen on making those things. This is all about creating a sacred space and how to find calm in a corner of your home. I think that's really important, to be able to find a space in your home where you can just relax and do your hobbies or whatever you prefer doing. And it doesn't have to be a room entirely. It can be just a corner in your home. It really just like relaxes you, and you just get time for yourself, which is important. You really need to make time for it. Then this section is we're going to a new section. It's about traveling. So this theme is all about India, and again continuing with the pink theme, colorful architecture, things like that. So, and they have a little quote, and they're starting it off here with a beautiful illustration, some travel news. This building looks really impressive. It's a rich mix of heritage, crafts and color. It's in Western India. Oh, I love these colors together. It's so bright. And that's all about Indian textiles, isn't it? They've got the most beautiful things that they're putting together, so bright and colorful. And they're showing you here how to make a lino cut block, and you can actually do some printing with it, and they're just talking you through it and giving you some helpful tips and techniques. I love the little stamps here. That's nice. So this is all about travel journaling, I think. Capture the bright colors and beautiful scenery of your holiday with an afternoon of painting. These colors are bright and beautiful too. It's such a stunning illustration, and they've actually got a few of them. It's really inspiring stuff, I have to say. And this is actually the artist that also did the covers. So again, they just interviewing her and showing you some of her work, I really want to go look her up on Instagram. She's got some beautiful ideas, again using loads of patterns and just putting them together, and they work. And then while they made this issue, they were listening to some songs, so they're just giving you a playlist here of the songs that they were listening to, and it's all of these songs are basically about the themes. So for example, song 1 is Teardrop from Massive Attack, and Salt Water from Geowolf. So some interesting things if you really into it and you want to listen maybe to the songs in the background while you're going through the magazines, just to get that ambience going. And then just I actually loved this article. I didn't read everything, I've read most of it, but this is all about journaling, and it's a space to be messy and write down what you would like to, and she's given you some journaling prompts. So I really like that they've added something like that in here, which is right up my alley. And then we get to the end of this issue. So coming back to this one, I'm not going to go through it in depth. I'm just going to show you some things that really stood out to me. I love this piece here that really stands out to me. And I can see these hands being cut out and used in a journal. That can look really nice. And this whole section is actually about hands, so you've got quite a few to play with. That's also nice. And then the little activity in here, they had this palm tree, and again it's like made out of card, and you can basically frame it and put it up in your home. And then you can also make a card out of this little cardstock paper here, and they've got both sides, so you can choose which side speaks to you, and they have framed it there and put it up. I think that really looks nice. And then we have some patterns, which gives you some ideas of patterns if you're looking for a few ideas of what you can do. Then we got some labels. It's actually intended for labeling some food, but I would actually just use this in my journal. They also looked at colorful textiles and had some interviews with artist that works with textures, and they also looked at an artist that works with stained glass and just the whole process of it, and then also looking at ceramics. Then we had some of those little cards. Again, I would say it's almost like postcards. So again, it's perforated. You can do some journaling at the back or add photos and tip it in. And I loved this. I just had to show you that. Those colors are so beautiful, and I just love the little horses that they've added on here. And that is basically just a little look at Project Calm. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it wasn't too long and you just got an idea of what this book's all about. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.